Nobody expected Arc Raiders to be this big, and even fewer people expected it to hold on to 91% of its players after the first 60 days. But that's exactly what's happened. 91%. That number is completely absurd. And I know that some of you are probably thinking that it doesn't sound that crazy, but I promise you, it is. Live service games recently have been a graveyard. It's a revolving door of massive launches followed by immediate drop offs, big marketing pushes, big promises, and then not only 2 weeks later, gone. Player bases evaporate, servers are dead, another next big thing gets buried. Arc Raiders didn't just avoid that fate, it broke that pattern entirely. The reason why is actually very simple. It's not retention tricks, it's not some secret algorithm, it's the community. Somewhere along the way, the gaming industry forgot that the most important part of multiplayer games is the word multiplayer. It's people playing together. People literally just dropping into a world together and figuring it out. And the wild part is, we've seen proof of this. In 2020, during one of the most isolating periods in modern history, the gaming community didn't turn to hyper-competitive grinds, it turned to games that let them be social again. Think Among Us, Fall Guys, Phasmophobia, even Minecraft. Games where the mechanics mattered less than the actual moments. Games where talking, joking, lying, cooperating, and just being present was the entire point. Those games didn't explode because they were deep or optimized or endlessly monetized. They exploded because they gave people a space to exist together when everything else shut down. They reminded everyone that multiplayer games are at their best when they are social first and competitive second. And then, somehow, the industry forgot that lesson almost immediately. Arc Raiders didn't. They launched on October 30th, and it didn't even peak at launch like lots of games do. It hit its all-time high weeks later, and more than 480,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. And then it just stayed there. Through the holiday periods, through every excuse that usually kills games, it barely dipped. And on January 4th, Embark reported over 3.2 million daily users across all platforms and more than 12 million copies sold. That is insane, especially when you compare it to literally everything else. Battlefield 6 struggled to retain its audience. The Gate Arena Reloaded couldn't sustain momentum. X Defiance drew massive attention and then rapidly lost the players to the point where it actually got shut down. Marvel Rivals opened strong, only to see a large decline. All these different games, and here we are with the same outcome. No other live service game has held momentum like this. The only games that have managed something even close are the pillars in the gaming community. Think Fortnite, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota 2. I'm not saying Arc Raiders is going to become one of those, it's just walking down that same path. So, what's actually happening here? Well, first off, the competition has just collapsed. This was one of the weakest Call of Duty years we've seen probably ever. Battlefield 6 tried to chase what Call of Duty was and somehow copied all the wrong parts. And Arc Raiders doesn't have those problems. It launched when it was ready, it was polished, it had a clear identity, it felt new because it was actually new. And the biggest thing, it cost $40. And price matters a lot right now. Players are spending less per game, not more. AAA keeps asking for $70, $80, but delivering less, and the data is very clear. When a game like Arc Raiders, a fresh IP shows up and it plays better and it respects your time and your wallet, people notice. Why would anyone spend $80 on a AAA game when something better costs $40? Look around the industry. Everything feels the same. It's the same franchises over and over again. It's the same mechanics, it's the same gameplay loop, it's the same monetization, same battle pass every game. Same safe, focused, tested slop. The mystery and the fun is gone. The excitement is gone. Everything in gaming is becoming predictable. But Arc Raiders doesn't feel predictable, and that's because it isn't. Every raid you go into is a gamble. Every drop feels different. Some runs are quiet and not as intense, and others are. Some collapse into chaos. Conversations in the game happen naturally. It feels like everyone in the game has a mic, or at least uses the in-game emotes to communicate with you. Alliances form and they break. And sometimes you work together, sometimes Someone turns on you as you're about to extract. Those moments aren't designed, but they're allowed. That's why the game is literally everywhere right now. It's on Twitch, it's on YouTube, it's on all your social medias. Clips are blowing up, creators are getting launched overnight because the game actually refuses to play the same way twice. Every run is different and it's fun. And that's the real reason this is working. Because players are tired of these hyper competitive designs. They're tired of everything being team versus team, you versus everyone. People just want to cooperate. They want to belong. Society is more isolated than ever, and games stop being social at the worst possible time. People want the choice of being friendly or wanting to fight, not being forced into it by the game. Arc Raiders gets this. The PvP is there, it exists, but it's contextual, it's optional. The world gives it meaning. Your survivors reclaiming the surface, you meet strangers, you decide who to trust. The game gives players space instead of herding them like cattle. Aggressive players can find aggression, cooperative players can find cooperation. Nothing is locked in. Your intent can change mid-raid and the game moves with you instead of fighting you. That's real accessibility. It's giving players freedom. Meanwhile, the rest of the industry is patenting matchmaking systems to push microtransactions and manipulating gameplay to drive spending. Arc Raiders feels like a game that chose to be good first, even if that meant taking the harder path. It's got a fair price, cosmetics are optional, there's no pressure, it's just respect from the developer. It's player first design that actually means something. And I really want this game to stick. Like, yes, it's a good game, but I want it to stay because it proves something. Multiplayer games don't need to be manipulative to succeed. They don't need to squeeze players dry. They just need to remember why people play them in the first place.